Hey guys and gals, Aunt Diane here. You like my ponytails? I'm being frumpy, which I am most of the time. One of my viewers suggested doing a video that was inspired by some posts on TikTok that said, Alexa, how and when will World War III, the tongue twister, start? And it's been on my mind. It's been on a lot of people's minds. So we're going to explore that. And I just want to say thank you for those of you who've subscribed so far. This channel's just less than a month and a half old, so I'm very happy and it's heartwarming. And we hope to grow it more. And if you like what you see, subscribe because we have more stuff in store. My music I'm still working on, but just laugh about it if you want. But there's so many world events going on right now, so many human interest things that I can't help but discuss them and hopefully bring us all together and share more love together. So we are going to explore this question of how, when, and will World War III start. Stay tuned, here it comes. Of course, the first thing a lot of us think of, especially after those creepy movies that started, actually it started before the 80s, but the big ones, The Day After, Threads, and a couple of other movies that are less gory, but still, ever since the late 50s, before I was even born, there was a movie called On the Beach. And in this movie, there was a remake done in 2000. But in the movie, the basic premise was that people in Australia would be spared the original bomb blast because it was only happening in the northern hemisphere. But within a few months, the radiation made its way to the southern hemisphere, and they all started dying of radiation poisoning. Very heartbreaking. And then you read a lot of theories online. Could that really happen? No. And now they say even if it were to happen, World War III doesn't necessarily mean nuclear war, but that's what a lot of us are afraid of. And some scientists say, no, that wouldn't happen. Some of them say, yes, it will. And some of them say if that were to happen in these days, the southern hemisphere would be involved. So either way, you can't escape it. I mean, that's heartbreaking and upsetting. So let's explore some of the other things that could happen. What I've just shown are pictures that could have happened in a traditional World War I and II up until the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings. But other than that, you still get famine, millions of people, innocent people killed, tent cities that are set up, like kind of what's going on in the Middle East with the Syria and Iraq wars. And then, of course, you get the terrorists killing people, and it's just horrible. It would be horrible either way. But there could also just be regional nuclear wars. That's definitely possible. War between, say, Ukraine and Russia, which would be horrible if it turned nuclear. It's horrible enough as it is, right? Also, India and Pakistan, there have been scenarios about that on YouTube, what could happen. Either way, even if it were limited between two countries, it would still have far-reaching effects on the environment and the rest of the world. And of course, millions of deaths, which would be horrible. But let's look into what might start it. Do we really want to list the nations who we're all thinking about? I thought of putting them on the screen, but not like my video is going to piss off those nations and make them start a war. But let's just say there are some countries out there who have the capability and have the weapons, but don't follow the United Nations and the pacts that NATO and some of the other more peaceable countries have. We all know who we're talking about. I just hesitate to say it here. Because, the people in those countries I feel sorry for, they are forced to say that their leaders are wonderful under penalty of death. There is a well-known YouTuber who escaped from that country, and I have the utmost respect for her because she talks about how things were back then. I don't even want to say who it is, but if you look at somebody who escaped from a certain communist country, that's even worse than the worst communist country you could think of. Leaders who aren't voted in or out, they just inherited the position from their father and grandfather. I think you know who I'm talking about. A country like that, or what's going on right now between Russia and Ukraine. I mean, I don't think Ukraine would start it. They're loving, peaceful people from what I can see. Okay, there's no country that's all bad or all good. And the actual citizens of Russia, I don't think they want it either. There are just a couple of power-hungry people in this world who will not admit defeat. They won't even admit that their own people can't stand the sight of them, but who bow down to them because they have no choice. And in a nutshell, that's who I think would start World War III. Either the person will say to themselves, well, what could I lose? Things are horrible already. Whoever this is, if one of them, even though they cut off YouTube to their country so they can't watch what's going on in the rest of the world, if the powers that be have YouTube, I want to say to you, if you want to die, go. Don't bring the rest of your people, innocent people, into it. I'm not going to say the other word that is not allowed to be said on YouTube. But what I'm saying is, please don't drag innocent people into your personal vendettas. If you have a brain cell in your head, which I know you do, let go of the ego and let's try to make this a win-win in the world, okay? It is possible. Maybe change your mindset. I'm talking to those leaders who want to be boss at all costs. We've started by loving one another, our neighbors, whether it be neighbors on our street, neighboring towns, countries. Let's try to spread love. I mean, that's the only way I can think of to prevent something horrible like this happening. Even non-nuclear wars, can we all just try to work together? I have no say. I'm just a little old lady who's just speaking my thoughts, and I'm not tough enough to go take anybody on. I'll admit that right away. But can we just, whatever religion you are, whatever your religious beliefs are, even if you don't pray, at least can you think positive thoughts and try to spread some peace and love? We have got to find ways, even starting in our own backyard, of stopping the hate and starting the love. We need to hope beyond hope that this never happens. We need to find a way to stop these wars, and we need to just do unto others as we'd have them do unto us, which isn't always easy. But please, let's stop these wars. Thank you.